Good morning, everyone. It's a lovely spring day, a bit breezy, and we're here to walk the second section of the Two Toms Trail. And this section is from Newchurch. Here we are at the church, Newchurch-in-Pendle, and we're going to walk about 6.5 miles to Colne, past the hidden gem of the Clarion House. And I've got Susie with me. Say hello, Susie, that way. And we'll go heading off now to the Clarion House. So this building behind me is Nab's house or Nab's farm, and this was actually an earlier incarnation of the Clarion House, which we're going to walk to now. We've just walked about half a mile, less than that, from Newchurch-in-Pendle, and we're in a little hidden valley between Newchurch and Whalley. And Nab's house, Nab's farm, was used as a refreshment room set up by the Independent Labour Party branch, Nelson branch, and it was used from about 1903 to 1912 as a place where the workers coming out on a Sunday from Nelson and Colne over this little ridge at the back here could come and have a cup of tea and talk socialism and cycle, walkers and cyclists. So it was used from about 1903 to 1912, and it was a rented property, and it soon outgrew its really got too small for the number of walkers and cyclists that were attending. So the Nelson Independent Labour Party were looking for a bigger premises and a purpose-built premises, and that's where we're going to walk to now, which is just about another 5 minutes walk from here. So if we pan the camera around, you'll see we're in a little secret valley between the hills. There's Newchurch village, the White House is on the top, and if you bring the camera around this way, oops, you'll see the hat's blowing off. You'll see the Clarion House, which is the white chimney breast over there, Blacko Tower, and round to the Noggath Ridge, which was where the Two Toms Trail goes after visiting the Clarion House. So we've arrived at the Clarion House, the last Clarion House in the country. And if you're lucky enough to do this walk on a Sunday, you'll be able to go in and have a cup of tea and some refreshments. On Sunday it's open during the day, run by volunteers, and you can get the cheapest cup of tea in Lancashire. If you're here any other day, you can make use of the Clarion House grounds, bring your own butties, sit at one of the picnic tables, and enjoy the view over to the Pennines, which is where we're heading for on the Two Toms Trail, and looking out to Blacko Tower as well. Yes, Susie. So the Clarion House, as I say, this is actually the third Clarion House of the Nelson Independent Labour Party branch. The first one was a rented house in Thornyholme Square, then Nab's house, Nab's farm, which we've just been to, and this one was purpose built in 1912 with a loan from the Nelson Weavers Association. And as I say, it was here to provide a place where walkers and cyclists from the mill towns over the hill in the Calder Valley could come over and enjoy their Sunday outing. So as you can see, the Clarion House, lovely place to visit, family friendly, new playground as well. So just going back to Tom Stevenson and the link with the Two Toms Trail, this used to be a meeting place for an organisation called the Pennine Paths Association, who used to look after and protect the local public rights of way in the Pendle Forest area. And Tom Stevenson was involved with the Pennine Paths Association, and he often attended their annual rallies. And it's said that the Pennine Paths Association actually surveyed part of the Pennine Way for Tom Stevenson when he was creating it. They surveyed the southern half of the Pennine Way probably in the 1930s, when he first came up with the idea. So very much linked with what was Tom Stevenson was trying to do to open up the countryside to everybody. And now we're going to climb onto the Noggath Ridge and head off to Tom Leonard country, who's our other Tom. So here we are on the Noggath Ridge, just next to the Pendle View tea rooms, which is a good place to stop. And I just wanted to point out the contrast between where we've been, the valley between Whalley and Newchurch, and the industrial valley to the south. This is the Calder Valley, and here you've got the mill towns of Burnley, Briarfield, Nelson, Colne, and it was from these textile towns that the walkers, cyclists used to come over on a Sunday to places like Pendle Hill and the Clarion House, just to escape from the mill towns and to enjoy the great outdoors. So this is a nice little ridge walk, and we carry on towards above Whalley, and then we follow the path down to Barrowford and then on to Colne. So we've followed the riverside path along Pendle Water into the town of Barrowford, and this is more than halfway towards Colne, past the halfway point. And Barrowford's a great place to stop and visit the Pendle Heritage Centre, which is just down here by Pendle Water. Covers the whole history of Pendle, the Pendle area, including the Pendle witches. So nice place to stop and have a bit of a breather, refreshment. And now we're going to walk on to the next town, which is industrial urban Colne. So if you can hear me above the noise of the M65, which crosses nearby, we've now reached Barrowford Locks on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, which was the waterway that first helped the towns of the Calder Valley develop into industrial centres. So the Two Toms Trail has a bit of everything: moorland, riverside, town, and here we've even got a bit of canal, which we're going to cross now and head into Colne. So we've probably climbed the steepest hill on the Two Toms Trail, just coming up the street into Colne, and we're on the main street of Colne with the town hall behind us. And it was to the town of Colne, the industrial town of Colne, that a quite young Thomas Arthur Leonard came in the late 19th century. He worked as a congregational minister at the Dockeray church, which is gone now, but we're going to have a look at that. The Two Toms Trail passes that, and he set up a social guild for the congregation. A lot of mill workers in the congregation, and he used to take them rambling as a sort of rambling club. So as I say, he used to do the Pendle Hill, all this area, take them out on walks. And it was from this that he had the idea to take them on holiday to the Lake District. And this was in 1891, and he took them to Ambleside. And this was the foundation of what became the Cooperative Holidays Association. So we're going to have a walk up to Dockeray Square now, where we'll see the site of the church, and we'll talk a bit more about Tom Leonard's legacy in Cone. And he is considered the father of the British outdoor countryside movement. And I almost forgot to mention, here we're standing outside Cone Town Hall on the largest single paving slab in the country, allegedly, as mentioned in our song, and I'll put the details in the description. Okay, so me and Susie, we've arrived at the end of stage 2 of the Two Toms Trail here in the centre of Cone, at Cone Library on the main street, Market Street. And Cone Library, the street running alongside it is Dockeray Street. And on the Cone Library site and the car park at the back of it was actually Dockeray Square Congregational Church, where Tom Leonard worked from about 1890 to 1894. And he lived on Keighley Road, which is where we're going to go to on the next stage of the walk. And while he was minister here, the modern library is now on the site. He set up the Cooperative Holiday Association in around 1893, and that came from his taking his church goers from Cone, from the church here, to Ambleside on holiday in 1891, and that was the pioneering idea of taking working class people on long holidays to the Lake District and the countryside, the great outdoors. And he started them off with a rambling holiday in the Lake District, put on lectures at night. They stayed at Smallwood House on the main street in Ambleside, and it took off. And then he started running the Cooperative Holiday Association from his house on Keighley Road. So he was a pioneer of cheap working class holidays to the countryside. And what came afterwards was the Holiday Fellowship. He was also a founder member of the Youth Hostel Association, founder member of the Friends of National Parks, and also involved in setting up the Pennine Way Association in 1938, which campaigned to make Tom Stevenson's plan of the Pennine Way reality. So an important figure, and he does have a plaque actually on Cat Bells in the Lake District and one in the Conway Valley to celebrate Tom Leonard. So this is part of his Lancashire legacy. And actually, if you go in Cone Library, there's some interesting. He's got a little heritage centre, and they have actually got a bit of a stained glass window from the old Cooperative Holiday Association, CHA HQ, which was in Manchester. So it's worth a look. So thanks for joining us on stage 2 of the Two Toms Trail, and hopefully we'll see you soon for stage 3, where we head out of Cone, go on to the Pennines, head to the Pennines and join the Pennine Way and head down to Earby Youth Hostel. So don't forget to share, like, all the usual stuff, and we'll see you soon on stage 3 of the Two Toms Trail.